What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I got something a little bit different. It's not a gameplay, it's more of an introduction video. I've been asked in the past about my settings and how I ultimately set up my Xbox controller on PC. As you can see from some of the icons, I do play with the PC side, whether it's with the mouse or keyboard or with the controller, but I prefer the controller. So here's my settings. We're gonna start with that today. Real quick. So the gameplay settings is pretty much just basic. I don't really switch much of that. That's just default stuff. When I play with the mouse and keyboard, sensitivity is usually at 5. I do have razor blade mouse, so it's usually super high pitch. Everything else is pretty much the same. Now when it comes to my controller, which is pretty much what most of you have been asking for, I swap this depending on what type of day it is. So that's really the biggest thing. I usually have this between a 7 and 8. I like to start around an 8. And then just kind of switch it down to a 7 after I pretty much get my 2 or 3 losses back to back. My stationary slash my very stable, where I can able to just kind of slam people, is usually at a 6. 7 is more when I'm trying to move a little bit faster and kind of just get through the thing, kind of get through the motions type of thing, and just kind of play casual games. So yeah, it's just kind of level 6 is more of like, I would say, regular for Xbox controller on PC. Level 7 is a little bit more of high intensity, and obviously level 8 is just insane, as you can see right here. So let's just go with the level 6 for now. Today I actually had a pretty decent game. So this is my video part. Everything is high. I do have a 2070 Ti, 2080 Ti, sorry. So all this is going to be completely maxed out. Same thing for here. I'm just push to talk, and I forgot what something else I want to check, but yeah, whatever. Let's go over to the actual firing range here. Kind of want to show you guys some of the training that I do daily in order for me to actually get in the routine of things. So this is really where some of the actual aspect of like, hey, this is what I need to do in order for me to improve. Now I saw this based on Zeus' video. I'll probably put the link down below on how he actually does his training and stuff like that. Zeus is one of those professional gamers who really just kind of teaches individuals on how to get better. Now I do kind of switch between the times 2 scope and the single red dot. Red dot is honestly my favorite one. And right now the R99, so I'm probably going to be doing an intro on the R99 and R301. R301 I'm able to maintain it fully stable. R99 is kind of like all over the place still. It's not very stationary, but let's just kind of look over here. So one of the things that you guys should be paying attention to is where I start. So when you start shooting, I usually like to start around the leg, especially right now with the new patches that came out. You do as much damage in the leg as you do pretty much in the chest area. So it's one of those things that if you are able to just kind of focus on the leg and just kind of knowing that the R99 patterns are pretty much up to the right, or to the left, sorry, and then back down, you know exactly where to start. So if you start from the bottom, you're already right there. By the time you get to the top, you're already hitting headshots. Obviously, the enemy is going to be moving around and whatnot. You'll probably be doing the same exact thing. So this range right here, which is where I mostly shoot, it's really kind of self. It's pretty easy. Just kind of aim down the range and just kind of shoot. Now, what I really want you guys to practice on, and some of the things that Zeus actually talks about, is specifically to aim at this target right here, back the farthest part. Now, the goal of this is really to hit about 200 damage consistently. Now, as soon as you get off the target, it will automatically reset the damage. So if you can see right here, boom, I got off 11. It went from 53 back to 11. So you have to kind of stay on it and just kind of maintain the consistent damage. That's really where hard it is. I mean, I personally would never shoot this far with the R99. As you can see, you can clearly see the train shot going up, left, and then back down. So that's really what you want to be focusing on. Yeah, so you kind of just sit here. This is what I usually do for a good 10 minutes. Just kind of shoot the target until I hit about 100 to 200 damage consistently. It's kind of hard to shoot when you're talking at the same time. So this is some quick shooting right here. So 133. Went off the target. I don't like to shoot over here because obviously it's going to hit the target below. Now, I don't claim to be the best at me drawing any sort of shape, way, or form, and I haven't warmed up at all today. This is my first video of the day. So technically speaking, that would do pretty much the entire shield. Of like a blue shield be gone, and like half of the enemy just regular health would be gone. When it comes to the actual damage itself, if they're, because you have to keep in mind too, they're gonna be moving as much as you will. Because you're not gonna want to get shot at. They're not gonna want to get shot at. So really, you want to kind of focus on doing as much damage as you can in a very short amount of time. So with R301, it's gonna be a little easier. Maybe not. Can't shoot for anything today. It's 123. It's gonna work. $182. I'm projecting a little bit too far forward. Okay, that was kind of weird. 126. Alright, so I know this video is kind of getting a little bit to the long side of it, so I really want to touch on some of the training that I like to do, and kind of just sitting here and kind of move in and shoot and all stuff. Now, I'm trying to get better with the wingman because of the damage that it currently does. So I'm kind of just like to sit here and do as much damage as I can with the wingman. The good thing about the wingman though is that it has absolutely no recoil. It may seem like it's all over the place, but I'm literally aiming at the same spot over and over and over and over. So my favorite weapons really are the G7 Scouts, Hemlock, and right now the wingman, because of the fact that it has absolutely no recoil. And just the reload time right there on the wingman is just faster than the actual Hemlock, a single file. So that's really the thing. Most of my videos have been so far with the R301 because it's just absolutely easy as hell to kind of just get down range and completely shred people, especially with the new intake. So that's just kind of given right there. So one of the trainings that I like to do that kind of helped me out is, because I'm an aggressive player, I kind of just like to zip in and out, get on their face. That's really good. I don't like to shoot from the distance as much, mostly because I suck at shooting from the distance, unless I'm using like a scout or whatever. I just do like the most damage up front. Because most people, when you shoot right here in their faces, they don't know what to shoot because they don't know what you're going to be doing. So most times they kind of freak out, they go lose their minds because they're used to being like around this far. So if you get somebody's face like right here, they're going to be all freaky, shooting the ground, shooting everywhere except for your head. So that gives you a perfect opportunity, especially if you're playing somebody like Pathfinder who's actually really tall. If you can actually tell, this is like a Wraith right here. A little bit bigger than the Wraith, probably like a Crypto size. But as you can see right here, he's going to be aiming pretty much at your body or your lower body, mostly around your hips area, and kind of do not as much damage as if you were shooting at the head. So that's really what I want you guys to focus. I like to be all over your face. I'm going to be like right here, just kind of shooting you and just slamming and hitting you, punching you, and do everything in the book that kind of makes somebody nervous. So that's really what I got good at, was pretty much getting somebody's face and just kind of charging. Sometimes I get outplayed, don't get me wrong, I'm not the best, but that's really what I got good at. It was just kind of like, I'm going to be right here, just kind of fight you and then blast you up. Now you do want to get behind the enemy at all times. That's the thing that you actually want to do. You don't always want to shoot somebody in the front, because if it's somebody like us, or specifically like me, that likes to get in somebody's face, and you're somebody that's not very comfortable with it yet, you're gonna get slammed, honestly. And then I've met a few guys who are just exceptionally good, and they are able to kind of jump, crawl, do everything, and you just not miss a single shot. So it really comes down to that.
Using grapple.
That's another thing too. I like to grapple you in and just kind of, fight you. So another thing that I worked on and I've been working on quite a bit, which is you see in some of my videos, is the outplays. So which is grappling in and out of the actual enemy. So let's go for the middle dummy over here. But what I'm really gonna do is grapple and get right behind him. So naturally, he's gonna look up and kind of trying to turn around. By the time he turns around, I'm already here and already shooting at him. So it gives me more enough time, especially if his settings are not as high as mine or some other stuff. So that's another thing too with having high settings. Let's kind of see a quick display of that. So as you can see, obviously it's a dummy, so he's not moving around or whatever else. But either way, if let's say there's a wall right here, I can easily take cover, let him shoot through the wall. By the time he's done shooting and possibly starting to get reload, I'm gonna get on his face and blast him up. Because even if, let's say he does still kind of like shooting and is not reloading yet, and I'm gonna get shot a few, if I just pop out of that corner and just blast him, he's gonna be reloading by the time I'm done shooting. And if that's the case, he should be completely dead. If not, I can just punch him and then kind of finish him off. So that's really the aspect of things. So first training first is ultimately just kind of shooting at the furthest target down the row and just kind of shoot that for a good 5-10 minutes until you keep getting those 100 to 200 points. Consistent damage. Second thing is picking whatever champion you usually pick the most. If you play Lifeline, kind of trying to outplay them. Really just slide shoot, jump shoot, close fight. There's not many people that shoot and just kind of like fight you right in front of your face. A lot of people like to shoot you from a distance, which is probably why I like to main Pathfinder, because it's super easy for me to get on your face and kind of like, hey, I'm here, come at me, bro, type of situation. But yeah, so just kind of start shooting over here, the target in the back. Do as much damage as you potentially can. Obviously, some people are able to do the 200 plus damage and kind of just stick to that, which is perfectly fine. Just do whatever you can to max out everything. 99. $198. Now I do like to move around as I'm doing this because I'm not going to stand still when I'm shooting at somebody. That's just the reality of things. So whatever you're planning to do in real life, do it as a training, because if you don't, most likely you're just not going to do anything. It's not worth it. I check that out because I shot the bottom target. 143. That went off a little bit too high. 88. 144. I completely went off on that one. So I usually like to completely max out my loadout when it comes to my actual light ammo and start with the R99. The reason why I start with the R99 is because it has the most recoil out of most of those weapons. If you actually look, we're going to aim down this specific target and just kind of shoot blindly, and you will see the pattern. That's really what I want you guys to get. So as you can see, it starts up and then you kind of shift a little bit to the right, goes all the way up and back down the left side. So that's really what I want you guys to look at. You have to be kind of understand and learn the pattern of every single one of the weapons that you're planning to use. So this is the R99. Let's see right here what the R301 would do. So this is really why I love the R301 right now, and this is why I said a lot of you guys were sleeping on it. Because if you look right here, let's say this is the legs and this is the body. Ultimately, you're going to be shredding that body. And let's say if you do the same thing in the head, you're going to be off the head, or even if you start, for example, at the body a little bit, and this is going to be the head, you're going to just completely shred the dude. So let's try right here on the dummy right here real quick. Let's start around the mid part of his chest. Alright, it's gonna go off a little bit. So maybe you want to start a little bit lower at the waist area. Now obviously he didn't have any shield, so it's probably a little bit easier, but let's start again over here. I had to move a little bit because I was off the target. But let's try it again. A bit more center. Yeah. So you should be able to easily shred through them. Our G7 Scout, yes, it did get nerfed and all those things, but obviously if you kind of just keep shooting. It's a little bit all over the place, but just like the R301 right here, it's pretty much similar patterns. It's not like the R99, which is legitimately just kind of straight up, zigs up, and then back to the left. Let's try the flat line here. See how that works out. It's right here. Now, I have not actually done anything with the flatline. I personally don't really like to play with the flatline as much. I have been playing with it a little bit more because I like to play weapons that do damage, so we'll see how that goes. That's even worse. Jesus, okay. Yeah, as you can see right here, it's kind of going up. The first one is just go straight up and then shift left and then back up. So that's actually going to still be a little bit easier to control than the actual R99. Because if you look, and if you actually kind of move around with it, you probably just kind of do one big bump. But if you're trying to control the actual weapon as you shoot, you should be able to maintain it in a single spot. As you can see right here, which is not as hard as if you were doing with the R99. Which the R99 is just kind of, it takes quite a bit of practice to be able to maintain it and kind of just keep it in a single spot, in a single position. So that's the flatline right there. As you can see, it kind of just went a little bit left and on all the way down. So let's see if I control the actual R99, how it's going to be working out. Now, I get that I have practiced with the R99 like a lot. I spent hours on end on here in total, so it's a little bit easier for me. But as you can see, if I just go over here, it's going to be straight up and then, you know, kind of shifted a little bit left and right. I was moving around too, so it kind of helped it out. But yeah, so it's a humongous thing. You really have to kind of and kind of just figure out how your type of gameplay is. Honestly, the R99 is a weapon for you to be at close range right here and kind of just blasting somebody off. Shooting from this distance to like the target up there, it's not really worth it because I feel like you're wasting more ammo than anything else. And it's not just that, this weapon doesn't do that much damage at a distance. And it's super loud too, so it doesn't help the case. Especially since all the enemies around you are potentially going to hear you miles out. So let's see how the flat line, or Prowler, sorry, will actually be doing here. Now, so consistently with the burst damage, it's similar to the flat line, or actually a little bit more similar to the R99, which this is actually, yeah, it's pretty much similar to the flat line slash R99, but if you control it a little bit, it's a little bit all over the place still. I mean, those are bursts, those are not single fire shoots. But yeah, it's pretty much similar. So you really have to practice. Honestly, the first I would suggest, like I said before, is shoot at the furthest target with the weapon that you least are good with. So for a long time, it was me when it comes to the wingman. I felt like I was just not comfortable with the wingman as much. And then from there, I kind of went to the actual R99, which actually looks like I need to work with a Prowler burst damage. Yeah, I do. As you can see, I can only get 1 out of 3 in there, especially from this distance. So I never shoot the Prowler at this distance. There's just no way. R99, I do occasionally, very rarely. It's more of like kind of trying to scare somebody off. Now the R301, most definitely I do. That's just one of those weapons I will shoot you from whatever distance I can. I just feel like it's a lot more stable and stuff like that, especially if you're not moving. It's kind of an easy target for me. But yeah. And besides, you know, 382 damage consistently if you hit the entire mag of 28 rounds on there. 450 with the Prowler, but I mean it's 35 more rounds, or it's roughly about an additional, what, 8 rounds. So yeah. The Prowler it's kind of the big meta for this season, so it's definitely worth it. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about Pathfinder, some of the mechanics and how I do things and stuff like that. Why I play him the way I play him and stuff. When it comes to him, I like to get in people's face, like I said. The biggest thing is I really like to just trying to outplay people with the zip line. So I want to be where you don't want me to be. So in this case, it's behind you. It's like completely just right on top of you and kind of shoot you as a midair. So like here and kind of just shoot you and kind of kick you as soon as I like back in, because if I'm zipping up there and kind of coming back and then going back behind you, you're gonna have to do one of these. And if I have two teammates shooting at you while you're doing that, you're not gonna be paying attention to me whatsoever. You're gonna be too busy trying to cover yourself, protect yourself behind a wall that's right here and whatnot. Before you know it, I'm actually already behind the wall, and I'm actually over here where you're trying to take cover my buddies that are up in the hill, whatnot. So I can easily punch you out and just kind of get you out of the wall, have them shoot you, and then I finish you. So you really have to find that little threshold of what you feel comfortable with and kind of just have fun. Don't focus too much on what people actually do. You don't have to play aggressive like me. You can just kind of be more of a passive type of gameplay. Just use your surroundings like the walls and stuff, and shoot, take cover, and whatnot. That's probably the safest way to go about, which is really just kind of take cover, shoot, and stuff like that. For a long time, I was a super passive player. I was actually maining the triple take, maining the actual, not sentinel, but longbow, and just kind of sitting to the corners and just sniping people from across the map. And then from there, I move over to the Hemlock and the G7 Scout. I wasn't big on R99 or even PK. PK is definitely one of those weapons right now that I absolutely still suck with. As you can see, some of the plays that I play with is just kind of, I'm lucky if I even hit quite a bit of those shots. So it's just one of those things. You can see right there, 43 damage. Now I get it, it's a lot more damage than the regular shots and stuff, but come on, you know, you don't really have that many rounds in the first place, and the time it takes you to reload / do things with this, it's just kind of insane. So one thing I do need to master when it comes to this is shooting right here at a blind spot and doing what they call the hip shots. That's really my weakness. It's really the hip shots area. And that's probably what I will be working on next. A lot of you have actually been mentioning the fact that I'm not as good or proficient at the hip shot, and I do notice that quite a bit. So that's another move that I will have to work on, is just kind of shooting from distance, focusing on the hip shot and stuff like that. When you get nervous and things, I just rely back on what my knowledges are, which is scope. And even at this distance right here, I've been fairly good at left people at scope, especially if they move around. I'm able to kind of maintain, specifically because of my settings. It's kind of like easy to move and stuff. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section so far. I will be doing a video introducing kind of all the champions, the way I play each champions, the reason why I play those champions that way, and the type of teams that I look for when playing those champions, specifically in ranked games. Because some of those ranked games, I feel like a Pathfinder is one of those like must. Specifically for late game, because the zip lines can get you on the top side, easily get you to the highest point of the map, and just one of those like needed champions. So that's really what you want to get to. But Pathfinder is one of those needy ones. Gibraltar is another one that's definitely a good asset, and Caustic was for a long time a great asset for the actual ranks, but it kind of shifted because I think he got nerfed or something. I don't remember what happened to the meta that Caustic was one of the biggest plays, specifically in Green Canyon, because the Caustic was just insane. He was doing a lot of damage, and just overall the gameplay was just a must-have in your team. But I feel like Lifeline is one of those super underrated champions, and it's probably one of the champions that people should be playing in the most.
Let's explore this way.
So, but yeah, it's one of those things that you guys have to figure out. Just look at what your main champion is. If you're comfortable, whatever it is, you guys don't have to do Pathfinder. You guys can simply play a Lifeline, a Caustic, or even Crypto. Like a lot of YouTubers play Cryptos, and he just, you know, creates. Revenant is another one too. I have not really played that many games with Revenant. I think I probably played maximum of 20 games with him. I am not proficient at him at all. I actually just completely suck half the time. I feel kind of, he's an assassin type of gamer, which is, you know, I absolutely love that. But I personally feel like he's not really where he should be. He's like a Bloodhound. When he first came out, it was just kind of like useless per se. Bloodhound, he's a hunter, and I feel like the one thing that's absolutely necessary with him should be that he should be absolutely silent. Um, I don't know how Respawn wants to do this, but I honestly believe that a Bloodhound should be absolutely silenced with every single one of his steps. It's a hunter. It's supposed to be silent. Yes, is it gonna be crazy? Yes, it definitely is. He's gonna be an insane champion. But you know, I feel like it's really what's needed because those Bloodhound mains and stuff like that are gonna love it in general. So, without anything else, guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the channel. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Whether you guys enjoy what I said, don't agree with what I said. Just kind of put it all in there. I don't claim to be the best player there is. I don't claim to be just the number one. I am not a professional player. I play for fun. That's the biggest thing. I really play for fun. I'm a casual player just like you and I, and ultimately I just kind of, I think I have about maybe 1,000+ hours of the game, which is nothing compared to some of you, because I am part of like some of the groups like Apex Legend on Facebook and those type of groups out there, and I've seen some of you guys' hours that you guys spend on this game. It's ridiculous. I personally don't have the time to do those things because I work and I have a wife and things that I need to take care of. No, I don't have kids, except for my dogs. Those are my kids. You guys can hear it sometimes in the background. But yeah, so let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Things that you guys would like to see like this, my settings and stuff like that, which I'm actually going to go back into it real quick. As you guys can see here on the controls, this whole time was on level 6. I may do one on level 8 down the road as I get more comfortable with level 8, but level 8 takes a lot of, it really depends on the mindset that I'm in during the day, whether I'm like super into the game and kind of able to focus my my aim perfectly. I will probably put it at level 8 and kind of just play the game like that. Those are just insane games, which are some of the ones that I'll be sharing with you all. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Let me know what you guys like this video or not. And without further ado, like the video, subscribe to the channel, write down in the comment section. Don't forget about the actual giveaway that I'll be hosting this Saturday. I know it went to the last minute in the video to mention this, but don't forget about those things, and I will see you guys next one. Have a good day.